the jockeying begin. The fans here at UCF are hoping to provide some nightmares for the University of Houston men's basketball team. Will they be successful? They think so.
Game time. It's game time.
Two teams who will get together tonight at the UCF Arena who are trying to find some sense of identity in the Conference USA. It's the Houston Cougars against the Knights of UCF. Not only that, but they're also trying to jockey for position. Why? Well, we look at the Conference USA standings. Memphis sits atop the standings with a 7-0 record. There's UCF and Tulsa at 5-2 in the number 2 spot. Meanwhile, for Houston, well, Houston finds themselves at number 7. They've lost 3 in a row, including 2 in the conference. And no doubt you want to play away from Memphis when it comes to the postseason. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy along with Greg Anthony. This should be a great matchup. We have some scores tonight. For Houston, Aubrey Coleman has been sensational.
Absolutely one of the best players in Conference USA. And this young man gets it done in a variety of ways offensively. When you look at him, he's got that ability to stretch it beyond the three-point line, but I think he's at his best in the open floor. He's a great finisher, and he loves to attack the rim. Also, he can beat you off the bounce, Tom. He does a good job there, and most impressively for me, he's averaging about 8 rebounds a game at the shooting guard position. And it's not just about Aubrey. He's got a lot of help, and keep an eye on the young man, Kelvin Lewis. He's not only getting you 19 points a game, he's their best perimeter defender, and he's going to have his hands full tonight.
Well, meanwhile, for UCF, they have a legitimate NBA prospect in Jermaine Taylor.
I'll tell you what, Tommy, he to me might be one of the best combinations of athletic ability and skill when you talk about a young man who is going to be able to get it done a lot of different ways. Yeah, he can stretch it out there as well, but athletically, he just attacks the game and the rim, and he's going to put a lot of pressure on Houston. The real question is not about whether Jermaine Taylor's going to have an impact, but will he get some help?
Yeah, who will be the X factor for UCF? That's the big question tonight.
Well, Tony Davis is their second leading scorer, and he's going to have his hands full because Houston's very athletic along their front line. So expect him to come out and play well here in front of the home crowd.
It has been a very impressive year so far for UCF. They are young, but they are figuring things out. Their fans are figuring things out as well. Can the University of Houston figure it out? Well, the tip and the answers are coming up next.
Oh, how much are these?
No, those aren't for sale.
Oh, I'm sorry. My mom's a little crazy about her antiques.
Antiques, they're rollover minutes.
Yeah, from like 6 months ago.
But they're still good. You know, saving minutes saves money, and these days we can't afford to be wasteful. Not everyone gets to keep their unused minutes.
Oh, cool.
Beat it, kid.
Only AT&T's Family Talk with Rollover saves your family's unused minutes. And saving minutes saves money. This Valentine's Day, buy a Propel and get one free after mail-in rebates.
They're out there, and they're getting closer with every tick of the clock. With every three-pointer made. With every steal and loose ball lost. They strike without warning. Their message is clear. No team is safe. You don't want to miss this jam-packed day of basketball action. Saturday starting at 1.
That's the money you could be saving with Geico.
What? I know.
Geico.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
College basketball on CBS College Sports is brought to you by Geico, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Welcome back to the UCF Arena, and it is a whiteout night. The fans settling in behind the basket as the Knights get set to take on the Cougars of Houston. And speaking of the Houston Cougars, their head coach is Tom Penders in his 5th season at the University of Houston. 93 wins, 56 losses, but his 35th year overall as a head college basketball coach. Time now for the Buffalo Wild Wings starting lineups. And the lineup for the University of Houston, well, Aubrey Coleman is one of the best newcomers in Conference USA. He's averaging just over 19 points per game. Zamal Nixon will join him in the backcourt. And then the other big scorer is Kelvin Lewis for Houston. He's averaging 19.6 points per game. On the flip side for UCF, well, it all begins with Jermaine Taylor and ends with him. But A.J. Rumsa, the freshman from Chicago, he is important because he's got a great chemistry right now with Jermaine Taylor. The head coach for UCF is Kirk Spearaw, and he is in his 16th year, 262 wins. The University of Houston will wear the road red uniforms with the white numbers. Meanwhile, UCF in the gold home uniforms. And the referee, Bill Kennedy, walks the ball to center court. And we are about ready to get this baby underway. UCF with a record of 15-6. Houston at 12-7. And we are underway in Houston. And Aubrey Coleman controls the tap. And you got to watch Coleman. He is lightning quick. Nixon running the point, crossing over against Rumsa. And that's the matchup right away. Taylor Young is on Coleman. Karan Calhoun is the 4 in this offense. Kuzan is the 5. He wears number 50. Calhoun with the shot clock at 10. Drives to the hoop. Got a quick first step on Tony Davis and gets the first bucket of the night.
And that's a beautiful drive there by Calhoun. Able to take bigs off the dribble from beyond the three-point line.
Now Jermaine Taylor with his first touch of the night and his first bucket of the night.
Didn't waste any time, coming right back at him with that beautiful mid-range jump shot.
We know that Houston wants to run the ball up and down the court, Greg, but what are the keys for them tonight?
Well, I think it's important for Houston to pound the paint, not just in terms of rebounding, but attacking their rim off the dribble, and they want to force tempo.
Kuzan is the key inside, gets his first touch of the night, and a little baby slam.
And first 2 possessions, they score on the interior, which is what Coach Penders wants.
How about UCF? What are their keys tonight, Greg?
I think it's vital that they can control penetration. They are not the best in terms of lateral quickness. It's going to be dependent upon their team defense, and then also they got to limit those transition opportunities for the Cougars.
Well, Davis has his first shot blocked. They get the ball down low to Zondervan, and his shot is no good. Kuzan with the rebound. He averages 9.5 per game. So early going, Houston controlling the tempo, up 4-2. The Cougars don't turn the ball over that often, which is kind of surprising with their style of play. They only average 9.9 turnovers per game.
And it's because of the skill level of their guards. They do a great job of picking their spots and just playing under control.
Shot clock winds down to 10. Game clock zeroes in on 18 minutes to play first half. Lewis asking for the ball. Nixon, though, takes it to the high post. Shot clock under 5, and there is a turnover for Houston. Rumsa in the open floor tries to find a man down low. It's Zondervan, and his putback, Davis's putback, is no good. 2 missed shots underneath for UCF. So a lot of action very early. Coleman with a quick drive and a knife through the defense.
Just like we talked about, again, the team defense is going to be vital for UCF to really try to contain that penetration.
And Rumsa just tried to do things a little too quick there. And the turnover for the night. 6-2, Houston on top. Under 17.5 to play here in the first half. UCF early on, 1 for 5 shooting. Houston 3 for 3. Lewis for 3. No good. Kuzan with the rebound. He is so strong at 6'11", 250 pounds. And I honestly think, Greg, that compared to last year, he has not only trimmed his body, but also muscled his body up a little bit.
He's definitely a lot more tone in terms of his physique. And I think it's also made him a better basketball player.
7 years at Seton Hall, and there's the second turnover already in the first 4 minutes of this game for Houston. Young draws the defense in. Rumsa goes to the baseline for Davis, sizes up a jumper, and he hit the side of the backboard.
I think there was a draft in the building on that shot right there, Tommy.
I would hope there was a draft. That wasn't a very good shot. And UCF now 1 of 6 from the floor. Lewis with another 3 attempt. Again off the mark. And the rebound is taken out by Taylor Young into the open floor for Davis. The ball knocked out of bounds, and we have our first media timeout. 6-2, Houston is on top. Aubrey Coleman slices his way to the bucket. is able to get the bucket and get it to go down. I'm sorry, it's not our first media timeout, but we see Coleman's penetration.
And again, the help defense is not there. You got to be able to provide some defensive presence out there for Ramsey. He's not going to be able to contain him on his own. The help defense has to be out there and leery of the penetration by the Cougars.
Sosa goes down low to Zondervan, and he gets the three-point play to go down.
And Zondervan is a very capable scorer. You saw him earlier in the game. He missed a little baby jump hook, but the skill set's there. And here, beautiful post feed in there by Baez. He's able to get it into him. Nice head fake, and then the presence and the strength to be able to still finish after the contact.
And one of the better parts of his game, the free throw shooting. He's an 82% free throw shooter. And he pulls UCF within one. Tom Penders, as we mentioned, Greg, in his 35th year as the head basketball coach at Houston. He's won a lot of games.
For a few different programs, too.
7 different schools. Nixon, jumper no good. And Taylor with the rebound. Now he can take this ball up the floor all by himself and take it right to the cylinder. He finds Young up top, who goes right back to Taylor. Fadeaway jumper no good. And Kuzan pulls down the rebound off the floor. 6-5, Cougars on top. And still UCF trying to find their rhythm, shooting the ball, 2 of 8 from the floor. Here's Coleman with a crossover, trying to get separation on Taylor Young. Calhoun down low to Kuzan. Nice move in the paint, just couldn't get the shot to go down. Now UCF trying to take the lead. Here's Sosa for 3, no good. And the rebound taken out by Aubrey Coleman. They say he can accelerate, stop, and then accelerate again very quickly.
And he's also an excellent shooter, which is something that UCF is waiting on for him to continue to develop that confidence in his jump shot.
Long range 3, and it's good. There's the confidence right there. A few steps behind the line.
And he's got himself off to a nice start with those 2 early layups and then stretching it at the 3.
You see Sosa wearing number 11. He's got that mask on because he took an elbow in practice a couple weeks ago. Broke his nose, and he'll wear that for the next little while just to protect that nose. Young along the baseline. Taylor from the right side, no good. And Kuzan just tipped that nicely to Coleman. Into the open floor for Lewis. Pulls back, jumper short.
Calvin Lewis has really been struggling here a little bit of late with the perimeter jump shot, in part, though, because he's given the defensive responsibility of guarding the best perimeter player on the opposing team.
And now I would think tires the guy out a little bit, too. Taylor's jumper, good from the right elbow.
Big shot by Taylor Young. They're expecting this young man to take his offensive game to the next level. He could be that X factor, Tom, for UCF.
Well, he was a walk-on who earned a scholarship for this spring semester. I would think he's going to keep that scholarship beyond the spring. Coleman made a 3 from generally that same spot earlier, but that one was way off the mark. 2-point lead for Houston. Young thought about a 3. Instead, he finds Taylor down low, backing in against Lewis. Turnaround jumper, no good. And Kuzan with another rebound. That's the 4th rebound so far for Kuzan. Calhoun has 1. Coleman has 3. And this is probably the slowest pace that you'll see Houston play all night. And toward the 13-minute mark here in the first half, 9-7 Houston. Lewis, nice step to the basket and a foul called, a kick foul against UCF. 9-7 the score, under 13 minutes to play here in the first half.
Still got flakes? That's your clue to switch shampoo to Selsun Blue. Maximum Selsun strength medicine wipes out flakes, plus aloe and moisturizers keep hair healthy. No flakes or itch. Selsun Blue shampoo.
Got a clue? Get the blue.
Robert Vaden, senior from UAB, second in the nation in three-pointers made. Conference USA preseason player of the year. UAB's all-time leader, points scored in a single season. Beware of Robert Vaden. College basketball on CBS College Sports. No team is safe.
Now, in
huge biceps and massive shoulders. Get the V-cut, a small-looking waist, and a big upper body with the perfect pull-up. From the U.S. Navy SEAL inventor of the perfect push-up, the perfect pull-up changes the pull-up bar into a complete upper body machine with 2 design advances. The perfect pull-up's handles rotate with the natural movement of your arms and shoulders. And the perfect pull-up is the first pull-up bar with an adjustable swing arm. Start with a bicep-burning standing row. Rip your shoulders and back with an Australian pull-up. Electrify your arms and upper body with rotational pull-ups. It's 3 exercises in one invention. It changes the game and gets you results. So here's the deal. Try the perfect pull-up for 30 days for only the cost of shipping and handling. You pay only $14.95. When you order, you'll receive the perfect pull-up adjustable bar and 2 rotating handles. You'll also receive the Navy SEAL-inspired workout chart. And when you call, ask about the perfect pull-up ab straps for an off-the-floor ab workout the way the pros do it. Get ripped by the perfect pull-up.
So, anyone good? Yeah, I got Ellis, Penny, and K-Mac, 3-time Architect of the Year. Who'd you get?
There are over 380,000 NCAA student athletes.
Check it out. The Jay Campbell rookie card. No way! That guy dominates in the lab. Yeah.
And just about all of them will be going pro in something other than sports.
I didn't know he minored in French.
We mentioned before that they're calling this a whiteout here at the UCF Arena. All the fans, the students received white T-shirts that have nightmare written across it. And the students have really, their participation in these games has thickened over the years. This is a beautiful facility, 10,000 strong. And if you talk to guys like Jermaine Taylor, they love the energy in this arena, particularly when it's sold out. And for Jermaine Taylor, he's kind of an interesting storyline, Greg, because he's averaging 23.9 points per game, which is 7th best in the NCAA. But he's got so many young players around him. Can he do too much?
I don't think he has. I've been impressed with the fact that while he's still going to go out and be a big-time scorer, he has to understand, and I think he does, that he has to learn how to incorporate his teammates. And thusly, this season, he's done an exceptional job. They've won 5 straight Conference USA games, something they had never accomplished prior to this season.
Well, there's an offensive foul called on Kuzan, as he had a huge size advantage on his defender. Well, Jermaine Taylor came into this ball game with 1,668 points. And talking to Spiraw today, he was saying that the biggest thing that he's accomplished, and then there's a turnover for UCF, Wade in the open floor gets the layup to go down, is that he's worked on his shooting so much. And an injured player down on the floor, A.J. Ramza, got tied up as he was going back trying to defend that play.
And that could be a monumental loss if Ramza can't play. He was going to try to make a play on the basket on that last possession, and he took a bad step there, and I think he rolled that ankle. Let's hope it's the ankle and not the knee.
Well, you just saw the numbers. He's averaging just over 5 points per game, and he's averaging about 5 assists per game, 5.24, which is first in Conference USA among freshmen and 3rd overall. And they say that he's come into UCF as a freshman with a tremendous amount of confidence, and he's been able to slow his game down. And because he's been able to be successful, that has helped Jermaine Taylor.
He has a commanding presence as a freshman, and I think we got a replay here. You see he goes to plant, and then the ankle just gives out on him, and well, that's a huge loss for him, because he really has been the catalyst on this team. And I think that's one reason why Jermaine has played so well, because of the trust and confidence he has in his young freshman point guard.
Well, I would think it changes the complexion of their offense. Greg, Taylor Young has a 3.67 assist to turnover ratio, which is excellent, but he's probably not the same kind of point guard as Ramza.
Well, he doesn't create the tempo in terms of transition. With the push, I think he'll be fine in the half court, but those easy opportunities in the open court may not come as consistently for UCF.
Tony Davis with another missed shot for UCF, and a 3 attempt by Lewis, no good. And the rebound is taken out by A.J. Tyler. Here's Young in the open floor. Crosses over against Coleman, and a nice feed down low to Davis, who draws the foul. The foul is called on Nick Mosley. We'll have some free throws when we return.
Hi, may I help you?
Yes, I hear Progressive has lots of discounts on car insurance. Can I get in on that?
Are you a safe driver?
Yes.
Discount. Do you own a home?
Yes.
Discount? Are you gonna buy online?
Yes.
Discount! Isn't getting discounts great?
Yes!
There's no discount for agreeing with me.
Yeah, I got carried away.
It happens to me all the time.
Helping you save money. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
Welcome to Progressive's Concierge Claims Center. You must be Mr. Garcia.
I was a little fender bender.
We have your reservation right here. We'll assess the damage, coordinate the repairs, and call you when it's fixed. And it all comes with your policy. Here's your rental.
Can I see it again?
Taking care of everything for you. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
They don't just come to play, they come to win. Speed, strength, intensity. Man, their whole game is a force to be reckoned with. Ready or not, don't miss SMU versus Southern Miss. Tomorrow at 8, only on the CBS College Sports Network.
Well, we've talked about the success that UCF has had here on a beautiful campus and a beautiful arena. Kurt Spiraw has been an unbelievable coach for this program. When he took over, there were just 23,000 students on campus. That's a lot, but now there are more than 50,000 students on campus, and he's really invited them into this beautiful facility.
He's one of the best coaches that no one's ever heard about. We had the opportunity yesterday to go and watch practice, and he has a real good accounting of his players. They understand their personality and what they do well, and they play to their strengths, which is such a critical element of having success. Even though you may not overwhelm teams with talent, you can with execution.
Now, as a coach, he has to make adjustments with the injury to A.J. Ramsa, and that's all part of the job.
It is, but there's good preparation. One advantage you have with a guy like Young, with that great assist-to-turnover ratio you talked about, he leads the country with the assist-to-turnover ratio. So it's almost like having two point guards out there at once. You're going to lose some grittiness and some toughness, but I think the execution offensively for UCF will remain consistent simply because they're so well coached.
Well, Tony Davis misses both free throws. He's a 76% free throw shooter. So 11-7 Houston on top. Lewis trying to add to that. His shot is no good. Mosley with the putback and the foul. And he'll go to the free throw line.
And Kelvin Lewis there not able to knock that shot down. Great block shot, and Tony Davis doing a wonderful job of trying to defend that rim. But they got to try to get Kelvin Lewis going. I mean, I understand the responsibility defensively he has having to guard Jermaine Taylor, but he's going to have to figure out a way to get going offensively. When you're averaging 19 points a game, that's hard to replace.
Absolutely.
And right now he's struggling and unable to get anything to fall. 0 of 5 from the field, 0 of 3 from the three-point line here early on.
Nick Mosley just missed his first free throw. He's made his first free throw. He's 6'9" on the season. 12-7, Houston on top. The Cougars average 77.8 points per game. Second shot is good, which is best in Conference USA and 35th in NCAA statistics. And I thought Tom Pender's squad went up and down the floor quickly last year. Taylor shot off the mark and the rebound by Coleman. But they say that he runs up and down the floor. His squad does even more so this year.
I think in part because he's got more versatility on the perimeter, and he's also a little more physical on the interior, which allows you to control your defensive backboard, which initiates your offense in terms of transition.
Taylor Young with the drive and the tough shot, and it's blocked from behind. Calhoun just put a hand on it. Here's Coleman in the open floor, heads to the hoop, and he's fouled. And that's really all that Tyler could do was put him on the free throw line.
And that possession there is a perfect example of why they can run better. You get the block shot because the interior defense is better, and that leads you in the transition off of that block. And here, you know, Coleman does a great job of recognizing the defense is unaware of where he is, and therefore he's able to get to the rim and create contact.
Well, to the free throw line, he misses his first. He's a 77% free throw shooter. Houston has a team 2 of 3 from the line as P.J. Gaynor, the freshman from Jacksonville, checks in for the first time. Second shot for Coleman. It's good. So 14-7 the score, Houston on top. And a man defense by the Cougars. Gainer defended outside by Calhoun. Theron is a big guy, and he's turned himself into a pretty good 4 for these Cougars. Taylor skip pass off the fingertips of Baez and out of bounds. Well, Baez was open, but he just couldn't get up and grab that one. So that turnover for UCF, it's 3rd in this first half. Houston on top by 7. UCF riding a 5-game winning streak. Houston trying to stop a 3-game losing streak. Wade slipped a little bit on that crossover. Look at that move by Coleman, just to separate and get a few extra steps to take that shot.
That's what we call a quick first step.
7 straight points for the Cougars, and they lead it by 9. It's a 10-2 run. Here's Taylor against Mosley to the basket. Strong to the hoop, can't get the shot. Rebound is run out by Wade. Wade 3-on-2, now 4-on-2. What a spin move and a finish. And a timeout called by UCF. Desmond Wade, the freshman from Linden, New Jersey, comes up with a bucket that gives Houston an 11-point lead. How about that? The tip, and then watch Wade. He just found a little seam.
And what he did a good job, patience and poise. He's probing there, and the defense doesn't commit. And if they don't commit, you keep the ball and get to the rim. And Wade does a phenomenal job there of attacking.
Well, Aubrey Coleman has had himself a very good start. He's 3 of 4 from the floor. He has 6 rebounds, Greg.
He does, and that's what he does. One of the great things he does is attacking off the rim. But he got that layup early. That gives you a rhythm offensively. There's a beautiful step-back jump shot. And offensively, he's feeling a lot of confidence. You can look in his eyes and tell he doesn't feel like the players for UCF can guard him. And that's a great feeling as an offensive player. But again, those 6 rebounds, he's just got an innate ability to find the basketball. That's one reason why he's such a great scorer.
Well, he was in the spotlight in a negative way several weeks ago when he was accused of stepping on the head of Chase Budinger of Arizona. He was ejected from that ball game for unsportsmanlike conduct, suspended for 1 game. And both Arizona and Houston say, listen, it's over with. He's got the suspension. That's it. This is a good kid. I mean, everybody you talk to say that he is a wonderful kid.
Well, I spent a lot of time talking to Coach Penders about him yesterday, and he said, look, you know, a lot of people say they're good kids. He said, if my daughter were to marry him, I wouldn't be upset about it. And to speak to his character and work ethic as a young man.
18-7 the score. Wade finds Coleman outside. No good. And Gainer didn't realize the ball was loose, so it gives Houston a chance to get the rebound. Wade, a tough pass down below, and the finish was not there initially, but Nick Mosley taps it in.
But we talked about it the opening about the paint, and right now Houston is dominating the paint. Defensively, they're contesting shots. Offensively, they're dominating on the interior, getting second shot opportunities, and that creates scoring opportunities. They're winning all the 50-50 battles, Tom. Getting to the loose balls here. Beautiful pass. Not able to finish, but again, they're quicker and more active, I think, at attacking the rim.
They lead it by 13. They have 12 points in the paint, as you see there. UCF with just 2. Here's Taylor from the corner, and the drive and the kick. And Davis tries a 3. Taylor with the rebound and gets the finger roll to go back down.
And I tell you, he needed that. More importantly, UCF needs that, because when you got a guy with that much responsibility offensively, if he struggles, everyone's confidence starts to drop a little bit. That could get them going here for the latter stages of this first half.
How good has Jermaine Taylor been during his career? Well, he's 12th all-time in Conference USA scoring history. Lewis with the falling jumper gets the bucket to go down, and he draws the contacts.
Well, we just talked about getting going after making a shot, and that's a big basket for Lewis there. Again, this is a guy who scored 35 points in the game earlier this season, so you know he's more than capable offensively. But I think the defensive responsibility he's been given is made his shot struggle a little bit. This could get him going, which would be a great sign for Coach Penders.
Lewis, who began his collegiate career at Auburn, and then in a Kentucky-Auburn game saw Tom Penders' style of play and liked it so much that he wound up transferring to the Cougars. Now, his dad, Kevin Lewis, is an assistant coach under Tom Penders. Here's Taylor for 3. He's fouled, and the bucket counts. And we were just talking about Kelvin Lewis, and he is called for that foul.
There's a touch foul, but you can't touch a guy's elbow because that definitely will affect the shot. But I go back to that layup on the last possession for Jermaine Taylor. That gets you going. Again, you see that basket go through, that ball go through the basket, you get a little more confidence, a little more bounce in his step right there as he drains the three with contact.
Now, I think the officials are conferring as to whether he was beyond the arc or not. They may take a look at this. They're conferring right around the free throw line.